The year is 1348. A cold wind moves through a small wooden village in northern Europe. The plague is coming. No electricity, no modern medicine, no government rescue. A father looks at his family and says, "If they laugh at us today, they won't laugh when winter comes." The neighbors mock him. They call him paranoid, crazy, superstitious. But months later, when disease spreads and food runs out, only one house is still standing strong. And what he built was later banned. Wait till you see what happens next. Welcome to Capture Smart. If you love true medieval history, survival engineering, and forgotten knowledge that modern science is just now rediscovering, you're in the right place. Before we start, tell me in the comments, who are you? When are you watching this, and where are you watching from? USA, Canada, Europe? And has there ever been a time in your life when people laughed at your preparation, but later you were proven right? Subscribe now, because stories like this don't get taught in school, and if you miss the ending, you'll miss the most powerful lesson of all. Now, let's begin. 1. The buried house trick. In parts of medieval England and Scandinavia, families built homes half underground. These were called pit houses or sunken homes. Neighbors mocked them. "You're living like animals." But here's what modern scientists discovered. Earth is a natural insulator. Even today, engineers design earth-sheltered homes for energy efficiency. Underground walls kept temperatures stable year-round, warm in winter, cool in summer. During plague outbreaks, these homes also limited airflow from outside contamination. What seemed primitive was advanced environmental engineering. And in some towns, local authorities later discouraged underground housing, fearing people were hiding goods and avoiding taxes. Banned, not because it failed, but because it worked too well. 2. Smoke-filled roof spaces. In parts of medieval Germany and parts of France, houses had no chimneys. Smoke from indoor fires filled the upper roof area before escaping slowly. It sounds unhealthy, and yes, it wasn't comfortable. But here's the genius part. The constant smoke preserved wooden beams, killed insects, and dried thatch roofing, preventing mold. Modern research on smoke curing confirms it preserves materials and food. Later, as cities modernized, chimney laws were enforced. Open smoke designs were restricted due to fire hazards. But for centuries, that quiet, smoky ceiling protected homes from rot and infestation. The villagers who used it survived longer winters. Public humiliation turned into quiet respect. 3. Hidden grain compartments. In medieval tax seasons, some peasants created false walls and hidden grain pits beneath floorboards. Officials considered it illegal hoarding, but famine was common. Grain stored underground in sealed clay-lined pits stayed edible for years due to low oxygen conditions, something modern food scientists call anaerobic storage. When harvest failed, those lawbreakers fed entire villages. Sometimes the same officials who shamed them later begged them for help. Think about that. Have you ever prepared quietly for something while others judged you? Comment below. 4. Defensive window design. Many medieval homes had extremely small windows. People thought it was poverty. It wasn't. Small windows reduced heat loss, blocked arrows during raids, and prevented intruders from climbing in. Modern passive house architecture now minimizes window size on certain walls for energy efficiency. Back then, it was survival architecture. Later building regulations in growing cities forced standardized window designs for uniform appearance. Safer? Maybe. Smarter? Debatable. 5. The night soil fertilizer system. This one is uncomfortable. In parts of medieval England and Japan, human waste was composted and used as fertilizer under strict systems. Cities later banned the practice due to sanitation fears. But modern regenerative agriculture confirms composted human waste, when treated properly, returns nutrients to soil efficiently. In tightly managed villages, this recycling system prevented soil depletion. They understood sustainability centuries before the word existed. Yes, it was risky, but so was starvation. 6. Secret escape tunnels. Some medieval homes, especially near borders, secretly connected to small escape tunnels. Authorities often outlawed unauthorized tunnels for security reasons, but during raids and conflicts, families disappeared underground and survived. Archaeologists have found remnants of such passages in parts of Central Europe. What was labeled suspicious was simply preparation. Would you build one if laws allowed?
7. The plague isolation rooms. When the Black Death spread, some households created isolation chambers inside homes, separate entrances, separate utensils. Neighbors feared them. Sometimes entire families were socially shunned. But early isolation reduced spread within households. Centuries later, epidemiology would confirm quarantine works. The people mocked as fearful were practicing early public health. Notice the pattern? Almost every one of these survival tricks was mocked, restricted, or banned, not because they failed, but because they disrupted social control, uniformity, or comfort. Preparation often looks extreme until disaster arrives. And here's the twist. Many of these so-called primitive systems are now being studied in sustainable housing, regenerative farming, and off-grid architecture in the United States. The future is quietly rediscovering the past. Imagine being that medieval father again. Your neighbors laugh. Your home looks strange, smoky, half underground, small windows, hidden storage. But winter comes. The plague spreads. Raiders pass through. And your family survives. Now ask yourself, are you building comfort or resilience? Tell me in the comments, if society collapsed tomorrow, which of these 7 would you use? And where are you watching from right now? If you want more true medieval survival stories that sound unbelievable but are historically grounded, subscribe to Capture Smart. Because in the next video, we're uncovering something even darker. Medieval defense systems modern engineers still can't fully replicate. And trust me, you don't want to miss that.